Well, good morning and welcome to the Slim Nations One-on-Ones podcast. I'm Slim Overton, of course, and have a special guest here today with me, and it's Lewis Bracy, and he's been on here several times over the last few years and talking politics. And one time we talked about the old neighborhood that we both grew up in. So it's always a pleasure to have him here and get his insights on what's going on politically. And I titled this thing "The Man Who Fights Trump." But I want to start this off, Lewis, because you remember when we had a show. I think it was right before the election, and we were talking, and you and I both were kind of we kind of were confident that the vice president would win. We figured it would pull it out, even though all the odds were against her coming in that late and having that short time. But the momentum of the people, supporting her just looked like she could have a chance. And, you know, and it didn't turn out that way. So what was your feelings? I kind of know, but right after, because I know you didn't just sit down and say, well, I'm frustrated. I'm just gonna let y'all have at it. You just probably went right to work after that. I know you went right to work, posting, things and things like that, and probably getting out there with your uh, F Trump T-shirt. I saw that out there a few days after. But so how did you? You know, I know it probably gave you extra motivation to get out there and continue the fight you were already doing. But it had to be kind of a setback there for a little while, and then you just got right out there. How was that coming out of that? I know it's been a while now, but
Really, it hasn't really been a while because I feel like I'm still in a nightmare. Uh, what happened after that? If you recall, when I was on the show, I was very confident that she was going to win, and I did say it would be very close.
mhm,
And and when it was over, I was like everybody else to a point that okay, he won this time. He won this time fair. But that lasted for 24 hours. And the reason is that back in the day we used to have this thing. I can't say it on this network, but when a person had a certain type of grin, you know,
mhm.
it was a grin on their face that made it seem as though they had just ate the mouse, and or the grin of a Cheshire cat, so to speak.
Mhm.
When I
Yeah.
saw them on stage, I said something is not right in this cream. Something just doesn't seem right. And then when you put together all the statements that we had heard leading up to the event, for example, uh, when you heard him say that we're gonna have just enough votes to win, he didn't say that until like 2 weeks before the election. You wouldn't hear that comment was not made any other time. Prior to that, they were ready to contest in all 50 states. That is all the things that kept telling me that she was going to pull it out because they was afraid. Uh, those people had gloom and doom written all over their face. They were not happy. Then 2 weeks before the election, you start hearing them have this upsurge in confidence, and the upsurge in confidence came when Elon Musk, and anybody can check it. Whenever I talk to you, I say, don't believe me, check the facts yourself. Elon Musk had went to all 6 of the swing states that really makes a difference in this election. And then when he came back, that's when Trump started saying, we're going to win just by enough. Okay. That was one thing. It was really, really shaky. Then when they got all up on the stage, when Kamala Harris conceded the election, I say from the very beginning, do not concede anything. Fight like they did. Go to the
Mhm.
last fight to the last minute. All those people on that stage all look like they just stole something. Like they just went into mama's pocketbook and think they got away with stealing something. All of them look the same way. So
like
then,
getting caught with your hand in the cookie jar. And
right.
we didn't want to be like them, and the first thing we say, okay, it was stolen, without any evidence or proof. But
Right.
when you look back, especially when Trump said, you vote this time for me, you won't have to do it again. And then when we saw how much money Elon Musk had put into the
Mm-hmm.
campaign, nobody
Mm-hmm.
puts that much money into a
300
campaign
million.
and not expect something in return, or the money just not going into the war chest, it's going into other areas
That's
to
right.
to make to make things happen. So, like I said, didn't want to look like them, but it all looks kind of fishy. But here we are, here we are, here we are, and we have to move forward and deal with it. And it's crazy. They give us news every day. The lies continue. And the frustrating thing is how the news, the legacy news, I'll call it that, sort of almost normalizes his lies. I mean, nobody challenges him, but you can't challenge him now. He's the president, so he picks who interviews him, and he gets the softball questions and everything like that. So, what are you doing there? And luckily, you are in a state where you got a Governor Westmore, that's really Democrat and progressive, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a positive thing for your state. But what are you doing there? I see every day you're pretty active. So, what is the movement there? Because I know you're a part of it.
Yes, they are like I said earlier before we came on that the good thing about being so close to DC that you find out and you can be a part of so many different activities and so many different groups that are doing things. And one of the biggest groups in this area is called Fight Fascism, and anybody can look it up. Uh, if you want to be a part of a local group, there's someone in virtual urban state. There's someone um, fighting fascism, and the fascism, of course, is Donald Trump. So if you want to do something, just look up fight fascism and .com, and you'll find something around in your area. So and then being here locally, even the government are doing things. Like for example, I went to a protest Saturday that was put on by our local county executives and some of the local elected officials. They themselves put this event on for the purpose of letting people know that the federal employees haven't been forgotten. They have all types of government connections to try to help out people who may have been lost their job. And at the time, over 10,000 Marylanders had lost their jobs due to Trump. And and so the governor was on. If some people may have seen him recently on TV, and he have laid out plans in the state of Maryland to benefit federal employees to find new jobs working for the state and some of the county governments. So that's one of the things that I have involved myself in. Not only going to the protests, to be another body in the place, but also to pass on information to people that I know that worked in federal government that may have lost their jobs. So that's the thing that I like to do. And like I said again, being so close, uh, you hear about the demonstrations that made one, for example, one at the Health and Human Services. Then the next day, it may be at the education center. Then the next day, it may be at another federal building that they're trying to close. Right here in Maryland, I'm only like 30 minutes from Social Security headquarters, and you know what he's trying to do with Social Security.
Hmm.
And our former governor was the last director for the Social Security, Martin O'Malley, and he was on TV just yesterday debunking every single thing that Musk has said. So, so being here in Maryland, and I'm 40 minutes from DC. I'm right outside of Baltimore. Less than 30 minutes from my capital. So, in all three of those areas, I'm able to stay very active and very involved with all the activity that's going on. It keeps me moving.
Yeah, talk about how important it is. You heard me mention movement in the beginning, and it's a lot of people saying "I told you so," and that's not necessary now because we see how some of the people that voted for him are hurting. But the movement, because I even saw you at you went to a Trump rally or something. You were standing right in the middle of Trumpers. What was that? Was that a Trump rally or a Trump event?
Oh, that was one of the very biggest. That's CPAC. That's the
Oh,
CPAC.
okay. You at the
That's
CPAC.
that's
Okay.
yeah. You saw that on TV for a week. We
Yeah.
almost, that they push that. That's their biggest thing. They come to one of the most expensive hotels. Because I know you've been up in this area where as soon as you cross the bridge, Potomac River Bridge, you see the big Ferris wheel on the right side for the hotel there,
Hmm.
and and it's a Gaylord Hotel, and it is a very very nice hotel. Uh, but that's where they done held the last three CPAC events. That's the Christian people, the Christian Nationalist Organization, the ones that really done had a huge part in getting Trump promoted to president. And so it's like the who's who of everyone who supports that dumb person. And so yes, I was the only person at that event, and I was really upset about that. I was very upset at that event. I had my shirt on, and you were
Hmm.
like you said, I was right dab in the middle of it, and I was just right in their face. And I'd like to tell people, I want to say this straight up because some people think you might be a little crazy, but I'm not. I'm not crazy at all. When the president is coming somewhere, you got cops almost every 3 feet. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? You got, for one thing, you have the Secret Service talking into their cuffs and things of that nature, and then you have the Prince George's County, you have the Park Police. I mean, you have virtually everybody there. So sometimes people, I want people to understand that I'm not crazy and I don't have a death wish. Okay,
No,
but I
but I think you have a purpose, and it's about the momentum of the movement, and moving. That brings me to like when Al Green got thrown out of Congress.
Mhm.
In my opinion, I thought everybody else should have followed him out.
Yes, yes,
To
yeah.
show some kind of unity. That's what we needed to see as the everyday
Right.
citizen, because unless we show that kind of unity or pushback, even though in many cases we don't have the votes, that's what gets your base riled up. And they are master at getting their base riled up, even the ones that are being hurt by his policies. You
You
know,
know,
It-
that's the thing. That's the thing that you find, and this is the thing. We've had this conversation, unfortunately, too many times, and that is no matter what we think about those people, and I think very little of them. Uh, they are dedicated. You can't take that from them. They don't want to accept, believe any facts. That's one thing. So you waste your time trying to even have a decent conversation with them. They
Mhm.
deny everything, but they are there. And CPAC, like I say, that's a Christian group that's that had the largest part to do with Trump being in office. Uh, those were those people who supposed to be religious. Now, those people are dedicated in what they believe, and that's why I have my issues with the greater church, and and why I would never ever forgive the church for being lackadaisical in this day and time. And I'm adding educators to that list too, because this like you saw the sign at the event where people had "This is not normal." Okay,
Mhm.
when it was having at the when they had the state of so-called, it wasn't even the State of the Union. It was just he just wanted to run his mouth. Uh, you saw those signs saying "This is not normal."
Mhm.
You and I grew up in normal, what is expected and everything. This is not normal. This is not sane. There's nothing even humane about what is going on, and this person that's in the White House now. You know, you have people in Africa, in the different various nations in Africa, starving and dying at this moment because they're cutting off U.S. aid. Now, what pisses me off the most is, where are our so-called religious leaders in this country? Where are all these so-called mega ministers, you know, going? Why aren't they at the White House talking to Donald Trump, asking him about saving these babies in these foreign nations that lives almost primarily on U.S. aid? Why aren't they asking him not to do that? They're not even doing that. They're not even there. They're not even making the phone calls to do it. And that's why I would never ever forgive the greater church in America for basically sitting on their butts while this man is literally killing people. You know, just like he did with the COVID situation, with all his lies that, you know, almost you can contribute 700,000 deaths to Donald Trump because that was under his reign because of his lies during COVID. Now you have the richest man in America. You have a fake rich man, which is Donald Trump, determining the lives of poor people. Now that goes against everything that you and I have ever learned in the church. And why aren't our religious leaders basically beating down a door demanding that Donald Trump restore the aid to these foreign nations? That includes Africa, South America, Haiti, countries in the East, Far East. USA helps a hell of a lot of people, and it's sacrilegious for him to get away and not be pressured on this every single day.
Yeah, yeah, you know, and it's just like a bad pimple. You know, in order for it to come to a head, it got to have some pressure.
But
If
there's
you
no
like that
pressure. That's
analogy.
the problem. There's no
Yeah,
pressure.
yeah. How about that? And look, your other sister, Catherine Bracy, is on logged in. And Kathleen, if you want to come on and have some comments, let me know. Just come on the camera, and I'll bring you on. But yeah, I mean, and you can see the devastation in the country, you know, with the stock market, you know, going up and down, mostly down now, and everything happening. He's still coming on and lying, and you know, but he's there now, and the only thing that can sort of fight that is people like yourself and what you're doing, going right in the lion's den and letting them know, you know, this is not right. And you never know. You go in the middle of all those people. You never know. Did you have a chance to talk to any individuals when you were there? Because
Well,
sometimes,
when I do, it mostly end up going straight to profanity. So you know, and I know, you know, you and most of your guests they're not a
well,
fan of profane language.
yeah, you go to the
I'm gonna be
hardcore.
very honest with you. I'm gonna be very honest with you. At the CPAC event, for example, one of the Trumpers walked past and he stuck out his hand and he said, "I want to shake your hand." And not being me, I said, "What you want to shake my hand for?" And he said, "Because you have guts." He said, "At least you're here and you're demonstrating your right to protest. And I want you to know that I appreciate the fact that you here doing that." I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna come back to that person. All right. So,
Mhm.
and he walked away. A minute afterward, one of the most radical types of Trump got in my face, and I can't talk that conversation because that conversation went straight to hell quick. And he was there trying to talk about the abortion. Okay, he was saying, so he walked up. He said, "So I guess you like people who kill babies, right?" Just like that. I said, "I tell you what. What about your man who killing the people in Gaza right now? Okay, isn't all life important?" what about all those babies that have been killed in Gaza? Okay, what about all those people who died? All those babies that died during COVID. What about the people that's dying in Ukraine right now? What about all those babies that died? All life is important, right? But you only care about abortion, okay? And then a woman came up there trying to back him up, but I'm prepared. So every time they talk about abortion and babies in the wombs and things of that nature, I still come back and ask them, what about the baby that just died from measles because of you idiots? Because you people started this anti-vax BS. What about that baby there? What about now is over 200 people with measles. Now you and I was a part of that group that was vaccinated. You know, when we were in school, we had to get vaccinated. All of us got that little thing on our arm. It was eradicated on the whole planet. It was eradicated. But because of an idiot and a drug addict, meaning the Kennedy, these people in Texas and Arkansas and places like that, they don't want to vaccinate their kids anymore. And so what happened? You got. I think it's now the two died from it, and I know it was a baby, and I think they said an older person died, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one. But I do know there's almost 200 people now with measles, and you know measles is one of the most contagious diseases that you can get.
Yeah, when's the last time you heard somebody had measles?
That's right. And who did this come from? It comes from Donald Trump and his idiocy and his people, and they're the hypocrites, because all of those people have been vaccinated themselves and they have vaccinated their own kids. Even Kennedy, who ran, he can't even go to certain countries now because he went to these countries and told people this BS. And then when he leave, because people believed it, he can't even go to some places in the Far East now because he lied to these people and they believed it because his name was Kennedy. And now those people are catching some of these diseases that have been eradicated from the face of this earth. So when you go to these conferences like that, and these people get in your face, you have to be prepared to get back to them. So the argument was between a radical person who all he wanted to do was talk about abortion. I put him down so fast and so hard, it was ridiculous. And then it got really bad. So then they started ganging up on me. And this is what happened. That first person that I mentioned to you who shook my hand and said that you have guts, and I'm glad that you were here protesting, he came in the middle of it and said, look, I just had a great conversation with this man. He just hit a protest, leave him alone.
Yeah, that was brave of you, but that was necessary, and that's some of the things that has to be done. If you go back to the 50s and the 60s, civil rights, how people sacrificed everything to do, and some people didn't come out of it. But you know, and until that happened, until people spoke up and came out and went into the lines, then, like I said, nothing got done. You know, and you know, I want to switch to this right quick because you know some of the things you be sending me, like you sent me that Lincoln Project video, and as we talk about us and the Democrats, one time we talked about their messaging, how lack of their messaging, and the Lincoln Project just keeps going out there. And first, they either come out with facts or they'll come out with those funny videos like the one you sent me. But it's telling a real story about how Trump is the puppet of Putin.
That's right.
And how they can just turn around on Zelensky, you know, and Ukraine just because of the switch of the presidency. You know, that was already in policy. And, you know, I just, it's hard to believe that, you know, that they're doing this in our face, but we were kind of prepared. The people that were aware were prepared because they've been doing everything in our face. This is like if I was in school all year telling you, look, Lewis, I'm going to punch, last day of school, I'm going to punch you in the face. And every day I tell you that. I'm going to punch you in the face. Last day of school, wouldn't you expect that?
Yes.
And wouldn't you do something to counter that?
Yeah, so I'll try to make sure you don't show up. Or if I saw you come at the corner, you can be sure I'm gonna have a stick ready to bust you upside the head. Now
Yeah.
that situation,
I mean, I just said that to say, that's how in your face they were with
yeah,
their messaging
yeah,
and to their base. And we were sitting on the sidelines hearing it too, and telling people that didn't see it, this is what's going to happen. And even telling people, his base people, it's going to happen to you too. Don't think that you're immune from these policies he's putting out there. Not
mm,
me, not me, that's them. But now you're seeing it's you.
yes, yes.
But
Uh,
if a vote came tomorrow, they'd probably still vote for him.
yeah, let me get on that thing that you mentioned about the Lincoln Project, and there's two other Lincoln Project is what I said. That's why the DNC, I have I have zero faith in the DNC because uh, I was saying from day one, y'all need to connect with the Lincoln Project and run their commercials or the partnership with them, because the DNC, their commercials for Kamala Harris was out of the 60s. They was really old. They weren't hard hitting. They hit hard a few times. But the problem with Democrats is what you heard me say many times, and I'll send you the notes. Democrats don't know how to play hardball. They
Yeah,
don't know how to keep punching. Um, the one thing, I love Barack Obama. Everybody knows that. But the problem with both of them is they say the right things all the time. I want people to hear that, but we don't hear from them enough. We need them to say what they say, like Trump does. And this is what kills me. It is no secret to what Trump has. It's no secret to why he's where he's at. He tells the same people the same lie every single day, and he does it over and over and over again. I don't understand why the Democrats don't understand that. If somebody is lying every day, you got to be out there ready to say, you're lying so and so. You are lying so and so, and this is why you're lying so and so. And you need to hit them hard. In other words, just like, we grew up with bullies, we all knew bullies, right? And I told a story about Carl Banks on before, about Carl Banks was our anti-bully person in the neighborhood. I wish James G would get on to back me up on this, but when we needed somebody to be an anti-bully, Carl Banks was the anti-bully. The Democrats don't understand that. You need somebody that can hit hard and keep hitting you until you submit. Now I know that sounds bad, but come on, we're dealing with the devil, and I tell people all the time, Donald Trump is the Antichrist. You look in the Bible, you read the definition of the Antichrist. Donald Trump he fits every category. Now he has doubled it with having Elon Musk, and so the DNC needs to take a page out of the Lincoln Project and be relentless. You have to be relentless against Donald Trump. You can't say something Monday and then don't say nothing again until Friday.
yeah.
That's ridiculous. And what's most hypocritical in America today is we are allowing this president to turn his back on an ally again. And the ally is Ukraine. These people fighting for themselves. It was not like in Afghanistan. There were people in Afghanistan that want to fight for themselves. Everybody knew that. There was no secret. They did not want to fight. They gave up. They ran and all that kind of stuff. But the people in Ukraine, they're fighting for their lives. They're fighting for their very lives. They're not asking for no American to come there to help them out. Not one. Matter of fact, except for Americans that was there, they got caught up in bombing and stuff. No American has died there fighting. I think except for one person, and he was a
Let me
veteran
ask.
of our
Let
services.
me ask. Let me ask Catherine. She has her camera on. Catherine, do you want to come in the studio? Shake your head, yes or no. Okay, hold on. Okay, there you are.
Hey, how you doing? How's everybody?
We're doing great.
Right now, I just do not understand our Democratic Party right now. I'm like Lewis now. I'm just disgusted. I'm. They don't fight. You see things just like it. They're telling us exactly what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do it, when they're gonna do it, and our people are still not understanding this. It's it's just it's disheartening. I just what I wanted to say. It's very disheartening right now.
And I can say this too. Both of y'all are military vets, and how bad he was. But when he took the Joint Chief of Staff out and replaced him with someone with less qualifications, a lot of times, just even when who was the guy, the black Republican, sometimes even though you're a Republican and the administration changed and you're good for that position, they'll still keep you in there.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Even though you might not be a different party, but he needed somebody that would,
He
that would be
wanted.
loyal to him.
He
But
wanted.
we needed somebody like the present guy that would stand up to him and say, "Hey, you need to take your finger off that nuclear button." I mean, that's to the extreme, but that's what I'm saying. You need somebody to stand up to him. But he eliminated that right away. And y'all being military, I know that hit hard.
Very hard, disgusting. He just showing that he just showing who he is right out in front of everybody. He's showing who he is. He's showing that he's a racist, and people are not accepting it. They want to have a blind eye to what they're seeing. But this got to stop. It's just got to stop. The history they don't want anything in history written about us. They want DEI is what they want to see. But guess what? We're not going anywhere. We're gonna be here forever. We're not going anywhere. So our people need to stand up as well and get out there and stay fighting, fight, fight, fight. Our parents did it. Our parents before them did it.
Mhm.
And I was looking at the Pullman, like the Pullman Black History,
Yeah,
the Black Porters. We have to go back to the old days and fight like they did and stand up.
yeah,
That's
and
what we.
put a modern spin on it. I think people need to realize that it's always something you can do,
Yeah,
even if you can't get out and do some of the things that Lewis is doing or other people are doing physically or protesting out there. Everybody has access to this.
that's right.
You can use your voice in this way and reach people, just like you, Catherine. You everyday citizen, and most people feel like you, and you don't have to feel helpless. It's things you can do, you can talk about, you can organize, and the main thing is organize. That's when we got people running all different kind of ways. Uh, that's when and groups well intentioned, but everybody's doing their own thing. We won't see much progress that way. We'll see progress within those particular but not collectively. And that's what we need to do, come together collectively. And, young, old, the people that have these skills that they're sitting on, that they could be out here doing things. So,
Yeah.
that's just my spin on it.
Well, James, I want to hit on this thing about Ukraine again, and and
Yeah.
and I kind of wish the Colonel was on. I love the Colonel, but the Colonel,
Mhm.
like me, he always has facts on top of facts. You're never in your life, in our lifetime, no American president has ever kowtowed to a Russian president.
Thank
Never. Now
exactly.
we have in this country a person, and now this is what I wish every veteran, and I'm asking you, James, every veteran that should be out there doing something because
Hmm.
he's insulting all of us.
Yes,
Because what he's have done, the worst thing that he have done, and this is why I keep telling people, it's not that we can't do anything, is that we don't have the people ready to throw some bricks and some rocks. He turned over our whole intelligence apparatus to Vladimir Putin by not doing surveillance over Russian interference. Now, he
Exactly.
said that, and they do everything right in front of your face. He told the intelligence network, NSA, CIA, not to do anything against their attacks on us. And that right there should have caused, if Obama had done that, every senator, every congressman, and every governor in America would have said, "Get him out of there," because
Exactly.
he turned over. He basically opened us up to espionage by telling the national security agents, and I worked there for 28 years, not to monitor the activities of the Russians. They are our enemies. The Russians are not our friends.
Thank you.
Now you ask people in Portugal about that. Ask them, why is it that our military veterans and current military people are not out there calling him a communist? Donald Trump is a communist.
Yep.
One of the things that I sent you also was about the all the information, all these books and stories that's coming out about his connection to Russia going back to 1978. And all these people are named. This week alone, three Russians who now live in other countries, all were spies, and they all are documented. And for one thing, it's proved they know they're spies. So let's make that clear. These people are all spies. These people all had worked in Russian apparatus for years until they became disaffected for whatever reason. All of these people have came out and said that Donald Trump has been an asset for Russia as far back as 1978. Now, this is not even new. This is known. So how is it that he even became president? Because I'm gonna tell you, and my sister will tell you this too. If you try to get a security clearance in this country, you work for NSA, CIA, even if you went to Russia on a vacation, you'll be questioned forever on that. That alone could stop you from getting a security clearance.
Exactly.
Now, I know military people who just dated a Russian and they will send them back to this country.
Yep.
If you dated a Russian woman and you didn't tell your commander, and some kind of way it comes out and you have a security clearance, that thing is gone.
Exactly.
I know when I was at NSA, there was like no less than a dozen guys were sent back to this country who was in Korea. They were dating Korean women and these were South Korean women.
Exactly.
But just because they didn't tell them they were dating South Korean women,
your clearance was
they
pulled.
send you back, because especially if you have a certain clearance. So how is it that in this country you have the president of the United States way before he became president?
Yep.
It was known, and you know this, Slim. I've demanded that our leaders have Biden release Trump's files before he left. Now, see, that's another thing wrong with Democrats.
Thank you.
We're always trying to be the good guy, right? Joe Biden had the same power that this fool has right now. And I kept writing my leaders. I even wrote my Virginia leaders that I'm not even a resident of Virginia technically no more. But I even wrote the two senators, Kane and the other guy,
Warren.
Yeah, Warren. And I said Warner. And because Warner is head of the Intelligence Committee. Warner know everything that I'm saying is true. And I don't understand. No Trump person should have ever gotten a clearance. None of them. If daughter, son-in-law, none of them. Because they have all been compromised. Now, how you gonna give a clearance to a daughter who has a contract with the Communist Chinese? She has contracts with Russia. Okay, you got the Trump family and the son-in-law. They have business interests in China. Now that all those things makes you compromise to these people, and and I fought to a point. The people in the military who knows about these things, the people in intelligence fields who knows about these things, I kind of blame them for not fighting that harder, because this should not happen. Like I say, it's not normal, and it's not normal for us to be sitting here as you and I communicating right now, knowing that Donald Trump is a Russian asset. Putin and the Russian oligarchs own him. Yep. And they have the documents and the receipts to prove it. and wait now, there should be hearings, because these people who have came out and told you the whole story, you know, $80 million is what saved Donald Trump before he got on The Apprentice. The $80 million came from the Russian oligarchs that lived in his building. Yep. They rented out 2 floors. Yep. Come on. I mean, he is a communist asset. He has a name for every leader on this planet except for one person, Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, but we just have to keep the faith and keep fighting, even though the institutions that we trusted and believed in to protect us, like the 3-tier system, legislative, administrative, and judicial, failing us, even though many attorney generals, excuse me, are using the court system to slow him down or stop him in some cases. I wanted to, you sent me a video of Reese Waters. You know, I watch him sometimes too, and he was mentioning about the 7 worst presidents for Black people. And it was kind of surprising. And the reason I'm bringing that up, because you know how you say, if you know your history, you probably won't repeat it. If you don't know it, you're more likely to repeat it. And when he was talking about these presidents and things that they have done, we've seen over the years, and a lot of it is not different from what this guy is getting away with now. And a few people on that list that he had was surprising. He had Clinton up there because of his crime bill, you know, and that 3 strikes you out, you know, that hurt a lot of people. And of course, the normal people, Woodrow Wilson, Calvin Coolidge, you know, stone racists. But throughout the years, all this was, you know, we shouldn't be surprised, and many of us are not surprised, but we should have had something in place to counter this. And the only thing we have to do is, well, one of the things we can do is have boots on the ground and just keep on pushing and organizing. Like I keep coming back to the organizing thing. That's going to be key. We can't run out here and everybody doing their own thing without some kind of organization.
But you know what? The problem I have with that is, and you know yourself, what I'm about to say is true. Even the media are admitting that they're complicit with this administration. And how many people know that in all 50 states there have been protests going on almost weekly since he's been president?
Every day.
And I'm not talking about small demonstrations.
Not covered like it should be.
You know, in all 50 states, there have been demonstrations on a weekly basis. Like, for example, you know, because I send you stuff. There hasn't been a week where I haven't been to a demonstration locally. And then, you know, they did the 50-50. Did you hear about the 50-50 campaign? 50 states protests.
50 states, 50 protests.
That was the thing, but they didn't just stop there. And like I say, if you go on other media, you know, independent media like Roland Martin, Reese Waters, and people like that, you will see these demonstrations. Where haven't you seen these demonstrations? You haven't seen them on ABC, CBS, NBC,
MSNBC. No,
and CNN hardly ever covers it.
They are controlled.
But if you had
control.
If you had a Black Lives Matter protest, that would be on all the stations.
It'd be all on the news.
It's amazing how quiet it is. These people, all these people protesting, and it's just locate. Most people who don't follow the news don't know about it unless it's in their backyard.
The other thing is, like you say, the Social Security thing. how many people, all of us are in that age group now until we see we paid into it. Look at what they keep trying to do with Social Security. And people think white folks are not out there. Every protest that I've been to, 95% of the people are white.
Yep.
95% of them have been white. The last one that I went to in DC, which was last Tuesday, there was over 1,000 people. We was right next to the Capitol. We were seeing the legislators leaving, getting ready to go to the BS State of the Union address that he was out there walking right past us. There was over 1,000 people there, 95% white. All of them talking about all the important issues like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, education. All of these things affects all of us, you know. And you know, you got your daughter, and you know got the grandkids and stuff with these. You know, some of us know people who have special aids and special needs.
Right.
That's part of the education thing. But the main thing is that what I want you to understand and what the audience to understand is that there are people in every state fighting and demonstrating on Social Security, just that alone. Exactly. Because they're attacking it as you and I speak today. They're attacking Social Security. Why they keep attacking Social Security and not attacking the Defense Department, their bloated budget? They're attacking the one thing that people paid into, and no one. And I keep telling you, there are white people out there fighting every day, tooth and nails. Matter of fact, one of the largest protests in DC has been in front of the H&S building. You know, to go against the Social Security Administration. Those have been the largest demonstration that has not been covered by local and national media. And I think that tells you right there, and they admit it. They don't even deny the fact that they are not challenging this administration, and that is a thing that's hurting the lack of trying to get more people to the street. We need to get that word out that the people are protesting against these things.
Well, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. And you mentioned the ministers, and if you think about all the different groups, the Divine Nine, and all the big groups from way back when, you know, but it's going to be like I said earlier, individuals like yourself that's getting out there and just taking the notion to just go out there and be brave and go right in the middle of it. And sometimes you gain a lot more respect that way, but at least to have a conversation. Now you're going to have some confrontations, but you know, you're also going to have some conversations. So that's the main thing.
Well, you know, I hate to say it, and I really do, because I'm not a violent person by nature. But I was saying earlier that the problem is that we need some people to probably start throwing some rocks and some bricks, and maybe that will even get the attention that the American people need. But we shouldn't have to do it. We supposed to be intelligent people, and we are allowing in this country the least intelligent amongst us, which is Donald Trump. He's a moron. He hides his grades. No one knows what his grades are. You know, when I was at the CPAC, seeing somebody came in and they said, "Oh, he's the smartest and most intelligent person that's ever been in the White House." And I say, "Tell me something. You know what? You know where you do know where Kamala Harris graduated in college, right?" And the person admitted that they did. I said, "Tell me something. What was Donald Trump's ranking in high school? What was Donald Trump's ranking in college?" You don't know. Why you don't know? You don't know because he hides everything, because he was a dumb moron, you know. And you say that to a Trump supporter when they got 25, 30 people behind them. Like most people don't. No people have not experienced the things that I have done, right? You be in a group or you don't want to one, and they ask you something like that, and they know They know the answers. Okay, they know everything about Kamala Harris at Howard University. But you come back at them and you say, where did Donald Trump graduate in college? You know, what was his ranking? Why was he sent to a military school? He was sent to a military school. He was incorrigible, and his father couldn't deal with him anymore. And they sent him to the military school because because of the way he was. He had no discipline. He has no focus. That's why they sent him to the military school. And that military school was a joke because it was just basically just what do you call a kindergarten camp for rich, spoiled white kids. But
yeah, we probably did more in the Boy Scouts than he did.
That's right, and that's the truth. But the point is, Donald Trump's records are never putting forth to anybody's face. We still don't even know if he paid his taxes, for example. But we know everybody else's taxes, but we don't know anything about Donald Trump's taxes, other than the little bit that they let out. And I blame the Democrats for that. You know, but the main point is that how you doing? Hi. We supposed to be in a country of people of intelligence, and that's why I'm saying I'm adding the educators in our community and our universities, and along with the religious people, because you are supposed to be our best and our brightest, and I'm not hearing enough from our best and our brightest to compete against what we are seeing in the White House. This is what's representing America. This dunce, you know. Then you have Elon Musk. Everybody thinks is really smart, and I'm not saying he's not, because he is. But the thing is, but people don't know he don't make most of the stuff that he takes credit for. He has people there who invents these things, and then he signs off on it because he's paying them. I mean, come on. It's just, and that was all facts. But now you have, I sent you the joke that I gave up, wrote. You have a Nazi, a Ku Klux Klansman, and a guy named Big Ball walking to a bar. So you have Big Balls, who's with these nerds that Musk brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have Musk, who's a Nazi. His family, his father was a Nazi. And then you have Donald Trump, who's a Ku Klux Klansman, who's the father was a Ku Klux Klansman. His father was the car-carrying Ku Klux Klansman. So this is what we have that's controlling America now. Yes, think about that for a minute. This is what's controlling America. A confirmed Nazi who done given the Hitler salute a dozen times. By the way, and our Jewish friends not saying nothing about that, okay? You have a Klansman whose father was a Klansman who discriminated against Black and brown people in New York City, who are letting every racist organization in America who have given him praise. Every racist organization in America took their flags into the Capitol in support of Donald Trump. Every racist, the neo-Nazis, the skinheads, the 2%ers, all of these people, flags went into the Capitol on January 6th. And now they act like it didn't even happen, and all those people has been released. So that is what's controlling America now. A Nazi, a Klansman, and some nerd called Big Balls. That's controlling America at this point. Now, what's great about that? How can you say America is great? That's why I have my short video. America is in distress.
In distress, yeah, I see it.
And until we wake up, and like I said, if we need to throw some bricks and some bottles and some rocks, we need to do that. Because if we don't, it's game over.
Lewis, as we wind down now, and you have talked to your town here in Portsmouth and Hampton Roads before, and you're one of those boots on the ground people. And one thing a lot of local people not feeling the effects of everything that Trump is doing now, but it will trickle down, especially with the Social Security and Medicaid and cutting of funds, education and things like that. What would you tell you come home and you're sitting in front of a group of people from this area? What would you tell them that they need to do from your experience up there in Maryland? You know, doing having an effective movement, even sometime if it's a movement of one person.
Well, the last time I was on the show, I made a comment, and some people got upset, but I don't care. Is that most of our people, even if Black people, are too comfortable. They even now they don't think that it's going to affect them because they look at it like, well, I'm of a certain age now, and baby, could you hand me the black things right there? I want and they're comfortable. And what you're seeing is when you see people that are comfortable, who already got a certain income, who may have their house paid off and things like they're not going to be the type of people who's going to go out there and sacrifice themselves or go out there and put themselves in the street. And some are going to say they're too old, using that as an excuse. And that's we got to break that barrier first about being comfortable. Now you are comfortable. I'm comfortable. My sister's comfortable, but we are all out there trying to do something, but why aren't more people like us? Why don't they see that you cannot be comfortable? No person of color in this country dominated by white people, especially evil white people. You can never be comfortable. You can never be comfortable. And you see what this man is doing right now. He is really trying to erase anything that our people have done in this country. I was with the first Black female base commander Saturday. First Black female base commander at Fort Meade, Maryland. Okay, why she was at this thing about I sent you a thing about two people that had been shot, and we was there to protest. To have a prayer vigil for the people who were shot. And the base commander came there. Like I said, she's the first Black woman base commander on Fort Meade, Maryland. While we was at the event, her name was being erased from what Pete Hegseth is doing, because she was the first Black. That comes to them. Oh, it must be DEI, and this is literally a fact. While I'm at a prayer vigil with the first Black commander of Fort Meade, Maryland, Pete Hegseth had her history erased. Now, then you find that they
What was her name? What was her name?
Oh, I can't think of her name right now. but
yeah, when you get the chance, send it to me.
Yeah, I sent it. But she's the first Black female commander of Fort Meade, Maryland. But but as I was talking to her, it was coming up on the phone. She was being erased. They're erasing the contributions of the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yep.
They're erasing things just because if your name is gay, you better go and check your VA records to make sure you have not been erased, because they have erased things just because of the word gay. And they saw it in the news when they erased the Enola Gay that dropped the bomb on the Japanese just because it had gay in it. Yeah, and that shows you they're doing things with a broad brush. If your name is Black or brown and you was in the military, you better check your records. You better make sure that your stuff haven't been eliminated, because they are just taking a big broom and sweeping all things anything that can be connected with DEA or DEI. And the best military programs in America is at Norfolk State. It's one of the colleges had the best ROTC programs in America. Yeah. Some of the best STEM programs are on Black colleges, right? University, and schools like that. He erased and eliminating the programs that go there. And these are all facts. These are things that anybody can find out. So when you ask the question is stop being comfortable. Stop thinking that things can't be taken from you because you living good right now. You know, you got to get out there. We can't be comfortable. And what I wanted to show you was just one thing here. This is one of the biggest things going on here. You see, it says the fascist Trump regime must go, and this is the one called Refuse Fascism. So I encourage everybody, no matter where you live at, try to see if you can find something to say Refuse Fascism, and you can join them. They're not asking for no money or nothing. All they really want is your body. Yes, like everybody, they'll take some money. But the main thing is they want people to be out to protest against Donald Trump. So I encourage you and I encourage your listeners all to look up refusefascism.org. That's just one of the larger organizations that's protesting all across America.
I just saw that the female commander you were talking about was Colonel Yolanda Gore.
Yes, yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure I mentioned her name
Yes.
before they erase it completely. So thanks, everybody. Catherine, you have any last words you want to say?
All I want to say is people get out there and fight. Get out there and fight. Because your Medicare is still not guaranteed. Our VA benefits is still not guaranteed. Get out there and fight. We still got to live. That's all I have to say. We still have to live.
Sometimes those VA benefits are hard enough to get in some cases. But anyway, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Miss B and Debbie who logged in. I want to thank Alina who logged in and was real busy. And Alina, I saw all your comments. The only thing I couldn't put them up on the screen because they were in the private chat, and that's because you were on the feed. Now, if you were not on the feed, all those comments I could have broadcast them on the screen. But anyway, I saw them all. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
I'm going to thank my brother. I'm sorry, James. I want to
Go
thank
ahead.
my brother Lewis for getting out there and continue to fight. You fighting for everybody, for justice for all. James, thank you for your broadcast, for everybody that's listening, so we can get out there and do what we can do. And I thank my brother for keeping us all abreast of what's going on.
And Catherine and Olena, thanks for educating our community, delivering that journaling guide every week.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. And make sure you like, subscribe, and comment and share this information. And also be aware, be informed, and most of all, be involved. We'll see you next time. Take care.
All right. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's time for us to sit down at the table and turn this chaos into something stable. For love, one-on-one. We will not accept defeat, not on our land, not in our streets. Getting it done, reaching out to save the youth, letting them know